Hello. Hey everyone. Today we are doing an amazing session on weight loss. So, we will be talking about how you can lose weight very easily. And we have an amazing guest today coming. Detox coach. So I just sent her an invite. Hello, Mohil Prasad, and she has joined the live. Yes.
Hello.
Hey, welcome, beautiful being.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you doing?
I'm good too.
How was your day?
Day was good, a little bit busy, but good.
Uh, yeah, you just came from the some meeting as well, right?
No, I had gone to my farm, and then I have my group, the inner circle for my natural detox coaching. So we meet every Thursday from 7 to 8. So I was just finishing that and coming to this.
Oh, oh, very nice. So, guys, we have Nandini today on our channel. She's a natural detox coach. She has had an amazing journey of healing herself through a lot of diseases, as well as losing a huge amount of weight through changing her diet. She is incredible inspiration for me because of the transformation that she has done. And as she's suggesting, she has an inner circle as well in which she shares how people can naturally heal diseases, naturally detox themselves, and lose weight. Right, Nandini?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So today we both will be having a conversation around weight loss.
Absolutely. So tell me, Kartika, how much weight have you lost and how long did it take you?
Wow. I lost around 17 kgs of weight. And I would say that I lost all of that weight pretty fast when I became a raw vegan. So the initial weight loss was like a little bit slower, but I was actually not really looking for weight loss. I was just looking to be healthy. And I think I'm right now in my ideal weight. I could have definitely much more muscle, but like just in terms of like balance and healthy body, I feel like I'm in a good weight. And the major transition I think that happened was also when I left salt. I
Mm-hmm.
lost a lot of weight.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think your journey with respect to weight loss, my journey is definitely like interesting, and I have helped a lot of people lose weight because I started helping people lose weight because I saw that when they were looking to help themselves heal, like the weight loss was just natural. That was like a byproduct. So I was like, okay, this is something that I should tell people how to do because there's so many people who are looking for that. And but your transformation has been very inspiring. Guys, if you haven't seen the pictures, wow, wow.
Actually,
Like
I
she
don't
has,
even have the pictures of me at my highest weight
wow,
because I looked so bad in all those photographs to my eyes that I just deleted all of them and tore all of them. I mean, they are from the time that they were not that much digital. There was a lot of paper photos that I had. I just tore and threw them away because at one point I weighed more than 100 kilos. When the weighing scale touched, I was living in the US at that time. So when the weighing scale touched 220 pounds, which is 100 kilos, after that, I stopped getting on the weighing scale. So I actually don't know. Maybe I went to 100, 405. I'm not sure because I stopped getting on the weighing scale because it was so depressing. And just to let you know, it was not that I was a very unhealthy eater or a junk eater. I was not.
wow,
I loved fruit. I used to buy skim milk because I thought it was healthy. I used to buy cereal. There was a cereal called Raisin Bran because it had bran written on it. I thought that was healthy. I would eat it for dinner, like Raisin Bran cereal with milk. And and wonder why I'm not shedding weight. Because,
Wow.
here I'm having a healthy cereal for dinner. It's not like I'm having greasy omelette and fried French toast or Pop Tarts or, all those things that Americans used to eat, or pizza or whatever. I mean, of course, I had my pizza and all that once in a while, but every day I was eating what was the conventional wisdom or knowledge at that time, which usually one got through television, through ads. I'm talking about 20 years ago, telling you what's healthy to eat. So I would look out for all these healthy cereal brands and healthy milk brands and so on. And I was eating those, and I had a pretty, good amount of fruit and salad as well. Salad. Of course, the dressing was always oil. I didn't know anything better. And olive oil was considered healthy. So I would pour it over my toast instead of lathering butter. So I did all the things that I thought were healthy, and I was so confused why this weight is not coming off. And I weighed more than 100 kilos. Now I know better, of course, why that weight didn't come off. So my weight loss went through stages. I mean, it's been a battle. I'm like 25 years, I think I battled with weight, do dieting, and just by sheer force of discipline, shed 5 kgs. And then once the discipline is off, put on 7 kgs. You know how that goes. So I realized that this dieting was just not sustainable. I had to find some other way. I joined something called Weight Watchers, which was pretty big in the US at that time. At least they emphasized eating a lot of vegetables and fruit, so that helped me. But even then, they didn't tell us to stop chicken. They didn't tell us to, they would say, measure it, do portions. Some people used to weigh. And I used to find that pretty mind numbing, to weigh everything and to measure everything and to count the calories of everything. But that was the conventional wisdom at that time. So for me, I would say the first major weight loss that sustained happened when I went plant based. The second major weight loss that happened a few years later. So plant-based, whole plant-based was kind of similar for me. The second biggest happened when I decided to eat more raw. Then the third happened when I went high fruit. And then the final has happened with salt as well, like you, which is
Wow.
just 4 months ago, that I lost the last 6 kgs.
Wow.
5 or 6 kgs. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. So,
Yeah.
as I see, I think what is really common in both our stories and what is really common with everyone who's watching is the confusion that we have around food. Like, what is really healthy? It's like whenever I used to put food in my belly, like mouth, I would be like, I'm not sure if I'm eating the right thing. It's so confusing. The media is so confusing. And like, because of all these ads, we don't know. So, confusion is a very nice tool to sell and to like basically also make people unhealthy, I would say. So the advertisements and like everything that is going around is about making money, right? And no one is really caring about taking health seriously. If you see the industries, so I think when I became a raw vegan, what really helped me was just my intuition. Every time I eat raw food, I know it's healthy. It's like there's no doubt about it. So I think for people, one of the major blocks is lack of knowledge and lack of education and truth. It's not there. So
Yeah.
have when we have someone like you coming and sharing that, just eat, like what can be healthier than eating something which is just like raw and just like coming from nature, and then you eat it and then you're like, yeah, I mean, of course this will nourish my body, there is no doubt about it. You
Mm,
cannot doubt it,
mm.
right? So yeah, thank you for sharing that journey of yours. What were the mental things that kind of convinced you to become a raw vegan or leave salt or like become high fruitarian, high fruit based diet? Like because people are not able to do it. What is it that made you like, okay, I can do it? Because you struggled for so long and then that shift happened.
Yeah, so I would say that for me, there were two things. One was I realized that consistency is more important than any kind of radical change, because a radical change you can sustain by just force of will, but it doesn't last very long. So what I started focusing on was making small changes, but making them consistently. So this is what I teach my clients also. I say, okay, don't try to do everything, because I can, point out 20 different things that they can do. For example, they may be having tea and coffee. They
Yeah.
may be having fruit after a meal. They may be having a cooked meal as well. They may be munching on, some packaged food. So I can't overwhelm them by suggesting too many changes. So I tell them, pick the easiest thing to do that you think you can easily do, and stick with it for at least a week, 10 days, 15 days. And then we move on to the next step. Because let that become your new lifestyle. Let that become your new habit. So, for example, if somebody is used to having some milky, sugary tea first thing in the morning, and let's say they stay in a cold climate and they're used to having something hot, I might suggest to them that they can switch to herbal tea for a start. If somebody is in a warm environment, I might suggest to them to start with a coconut water. It depends. So I'll tell them, just stick with this, because breaking a tea habit is not easy. So I'll just say, stick with this, do it for some time, do it consistently. Before you also want to eat a salad, and you also want to exercise, and you also want to quit all the desserts, and this is what we do wrong. We try to do too much at one time, and we get overwhelmed by the number of changes that requires. Like, why do New Year resolutions fail? I made New Year resolutions year after year after year after year, to shed weight, to eat healthy, to exercise. And, by the third day, sixth day, seventh day, 10th day, it's all down the toilet. So the important thing is, you can start anytime. You don't have to wait for New Year's. You can start absolutely anytime, but make small changes, but do them consistently. This is my number one tip. Why don't you share one
Wow.
before I share my other one?
Yeah, sure. I think I completely agree with you. What we also work, with our clients is to don't go for like a yo-yo diet where you're like suddenly you're like, oh, I'm just doing a juice fast and losing all the weight. And then what will happen? It will come back. You will again be back. I think this is one of the problems that people face all the time. So, what really helps with even like the mind is slowly transitioning into things. So what is the first few things that you can do, and then doing it consistently for like a week, and then the next step that you take. So really, like, I think consistency and transitioning into it is the thing, and also like feeling it. So if you force yourself to do something, it will never ever last. What we really require is enthusiasm. It's like this feeling that, okay, now I am in this, I'm committed, and it can never happen until unless there is some joy, some comfort, some ease associated with the process. So I think with respect to the mental strategies and like moving into eating a cleaner diet to lose weight, these two things would be my ball game. Is like transition into it, very much like Nandini said, slowly the change happens. It's like a snowball effect. If you can do that one step that you need to do today, and that is the only thing that you do, and then move into the other steps would be definitely a very good key point that people should
Yeah.
follow. So yeah, you were suggesting
Yeah.
also.
So there was another thing that really, really helped me, and I think that's what sustained me. And that has been, I'm still practicing it. And that has been one of the reasons that I was able to unravel the truth about diet, about weight, about this whole endless loop of dieting and gaining weight and dieting and gaining weight, because it just simply doesn't work. Because it is a lot of external knowledge and information, and we try to kind of put it on ourselves, and then we fail, and then we crash, and then we say, oh, we can't do this. And we feel that we have very weak willpower and we are imperfect human beings and all that. But the thing that really helped me was developing awareness towards my body. So I started observing what certain kinds of food would be doing to me. How do I feel
Wow.
when I eat paratha for breakfast? How do I feel when I eat, when I have a glass of orange juice and then maybe 3 mangoes for breakfast? How do I feel? How does my body feel? How does
Mm.
my body feel when I eat a salad? How does my body feel when I eat some cheese or paneer or some dal makhani or something like that? So when we start developing awareness of the body, when I did that, I started realizing that I actually felt light and energetic when I ate lighter food, more natural food. And then I fell in love with that feeling of energy in my body. So then what happened, that whenever that, paneer or cheese or paratha or something was one of the choices, suddenly my body would remind me and it will say, remember that heavy feeling? And I'd be like, no, I don't think I'll have that. You know? So
Wow.
quite mm, spontaneously, it started to happen as I started to make a connection between the food. Of course, a part of me was like, oh, it's really good. It's going to taste so good in my body. But then I imagined the journey of it's going to taste so good on my tongue. But then I imagined the journey of the food beyond the tongue, into my food pipe, down that, into my stomach. How is it going to feel? Into my intestines. How is it going to feel? When I'm eliminating, how is it going to feel? So when I started understanding the whole thing, I started to realize that wheat feels very heavy in my body. Even millets felt very heavy in my body. One day I had a bajra khichdi somewhere a few years ago, and I felt so heavy in my body. I've never eaten bajra khichdi again, because that memory in my body is so strong that I understood that grains are very heavy for me to digest, and therefore they are not my food. So slowly, by building awareness, by developing awareness, and by understanding how my body feels, I was able to let go of a lot that wasn't going simply by, academic knowledge or intellectual knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Seema is asking, where's the question box? On the,
Right next to
yeah,
the comment box, there is a question mark. It's at the bottom of the screen. That's how I see it on my phone.
yeah, same here. Awesome. So, as Nandini, you were saying, I think feeling is like a really important factor that we need to focus on when we are basically looking at losing weight. It corresponds in three ways. The process should be really joyful, so that is the feeling. Number two is the awareness of the feeling that you get when you are, eating any food. And number three is, are you stressed when you're eating? Are you like, because a lot of people are emotionally eating the food, so it's like every time we are stressed, we are like, okay, how do I find relief? And it's so subconscious because we've been doing this since we were children. So like, mama was not happy or something happened, we didn't get good marks, or we were a child and like there was also stress in the family, you were trying to find relief. What do? Take a apple bite on it, or like just like eat chocolate, and then oh, I'm feeling better. So instead of being able to hold yourself, in being like, okay, what is happening? What is it that I can do? It's okay. It's not such a big deal. I can be calm, or or just being held by, other people, that it's okay, it's all right. When we were children, we kind of developed this habit of emotionally eating. And this has been like the reason, the number one reason why all of us are in bad shapes of health and body. So I think becoming aware when we're eating, like starting the meal with basically just this like calmness. I usually like also send out prayers, or just blessing the food, and then consciously eating, so that, as you said, being aware of what happens in the body. How do you feel after eating? Because I think that has been one of the major motivators for me. Like when I eat food and I feel good after that, like, fruits, wow, got energy, serotonin. But if I eat something else, it's like, even like with seeds and nuts, sometimes I don't get that, like, feeling. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to eat it. Or even if I overeat, sometimes I'm like, I wanted some attention, something I wanted, and now I'm overeating. And then next day I'm like, oh, it's like, even on raw food, we can overeat. Probably
Can
not
you
gain weight.
overeat fruit though? That's my question.
Huh?
Have you ever found yourself overeating fruit?
It's like the feeling of overeating a fruit goes away in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
so,
But
so
salads
can
one
you
can
really?
overeat, especially if it has some nice dressing and avocado and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, exactly, exactly. Then only it's the same for me. And the thing is, it just digests so fast that it's freaking awesome. I love it. So there is this one question from Mercer.Liu. She's saying, not question, but just a comment. So she's saying, tired of being told I'm having too much fruits when I do only too much sugars I when I do only fruits. So, Mercer, you can put the question in the question box, and then we will take it in the end and we will answer everything. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, Nandini.
So I have
So, you were talking about,
one
yeah.
more. So I call it the points I have given. I would give it the acronym CAN. So I spoke about consistency. I spoke about awareness. Okay, and the last one is N for now, and N is about never giving up. So
Wow.
if you have this thought that I want to be healthy, but I have tried and failed like for 10 years, 20 years, or I want to shed weight, but I've tried and failed for, 10 years, is it still worth it? The fact that you're listening to this means that you're still interested. If you're watching this and if you're listening to this, and I say kudos, well done, you're not a loser because you didn't give up. So, no matter what, just keep trying because someday something will sink in and something will work. It could be something Kartika and I say today or in our upcoming lives because we are doing one every Thursday, or it could be someone else or something you read or a friend says something, or you come up with there's some insight that you get. But don't give up because health is worth pursuing. I hope you realize that we are not just talking about weight loss. Weight loss is just a side effect of actually regaining your health. Going back to your optimal weight is the goal for a healthy body. And whatever is excessive weight or underweight, it will just normalize itself. So, one of the biggest realizations for me, for anybody like Mercer Lou said that she's confused about what to eat. So, one of the biggest learnings for me when I was confused, and it was totally overwhelming because one day coffee is good for you, the other day coffee is not good for you. What are you supposed to believe? One day they say eat more chocolate, it helps. And the other days they say, no, don't eat chocolate, it's a stimulant. So I was like, this is all BS because it just depends on who's paid for the research. That's how they figure out whether to call something good or bad. Like one day they say butter is good and the next day they say butter is, it's just crazy. So what I decided, or it was an insight really, not a decision, it just came up that I can trust my body. That's the only thing I can trust because I trust nature, and our bodies are nature. We are nature. We are natural beings. So that's why when even though everybody said bajra is good, one should eat millets, but my body said no because it was too heavy. And the symptoms of the body are the language of the body. And they are the signs that will guide you to what you should or shouldn't eat, or how much you should eat, and so on, or when you should eat. Just let your body be the guide. If you put your attention on your body and forget about all the mental calisthenics that we keep doing and reading and arguing with people and trying to figure out, just instead, just go for 3 days on fruit. And if 3 days sounds too much, go for one day on fruit. And if one day sounds too much, just start with having a breakfast of fruit. Like, meaning, just eat fruit every time you're hungry all morning till lunch. That's my best tip, by the way, for weight loss as well. Eat fruit all morning. Don't mix anything else with fruit. You can mix fruit with fruit if you want. You can make a smoothie out of bananas and strawberries, or bananas and passion fruit, or whatever is in season right now. But even one fruit at a time, that's the best. So whenever you're hungry, like this morning, I had a big glass of orange juice, cold pressed. Then I had two guavas. Then I had three persimmons. Then I had a big smoothie of passion fruit and banana. So basically, eat whenever you're hungry, and just keep noticing how your body feels on fruit. And then when you
Yeah.
eat cooked food or something dense or even a salad, feel how your body feels on salad. Then feel how your body feels on cooked food. Feel how your body feels on grains. Feel how your body feels when you have something fried and oily, or when you have dairy products, or when you have cheese or paneer or rice or whatever. Just keep noticing how the body feels. And whenever you feel heavy, just go on fruit and see if that helps you lighten that heaviness after 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, half a day, whatever.
Yeah.
Let
Yeah,
your
exactly.
body
I
be
think,
your guide when you're confused. So, what I'm actually saying is, for the people who are confused, allow your body to guide you. And nature has created delicious fruit which can be eaten in its natural state, just like all the other living beings on this planet who eat the food in its natural state, without processing, without breaking it down, without extracting, without refining, without mixing, without cooking, without adding spices, without adding salt. And they're
yeah,
all a
100%.
lot healthier than us. We, the
Yeah.
most so-called most intelligent species, are the sickest. That can't be a sign of intelligence.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I think like the sign of any thriving species would be like how healthy they are, how happy they are, you know. So definitely like animals are our teacher, nature is our teacher, our body is our teacher, as you suggested, and we need to learn from our own experience instead of listening from outside. I think that's the key. It's like when I was transitioning into the fruit diet and raw vegan diet, I was confused, very much like we got the comment from, everyone. It's like everyone is coming and saying, are you like, what are you going crazy? This is not okay. But like, there was something inside of me, how my body felt. There is this rest, there is this ease, there is this like, whoa, feeling in the body when you eat raw food. And that was my driver. There was something inside of me which was like, this is the right thing to do. I know it. And this is what we should listen to. And when we do that at every step, okay, so right now, probably maybe like just eating complete fruit diet is not the best thing for you. So what is the best thing? You ask yourself and allow your experience to be your teacher. Allow that awareness to be your teacher and allow your inner knowingness. Okay, I can right now do two fruit meals, or I can just do one day of fruit. I'm ready to do that. And when we go with that feeling of exploration, of excitement, of curiosity, of not making the whole healing process really joyful and adventure, then we can make it happen for a long term, because it comes from our own desire instead of someone being like, hey, you are too fat, So you must do like, because we have these ideas running in because of the self-image that people are putting on us. So if we come from an external source of inspiration and not from an internal desire and, listening to ourselves, then it's going to be a hard process. But if we like, really go within, experience, then also the path comes in front of us. We find people, we find answers, and all of that confusion that is there, it fades away if we are really committed from our inner self to, like, get that result for us. So I
So
completely
tell me,
agree with you.
Kartika, how long did it take you to transition to the high fruit diet that you're on right now, a raw vegan high fruit diet? Like, how long were you still eating cooked food? Do you still eat a bit of cooked food? Like, how is it? Can you share a little bit?
I don't eat cooked food at all anymore. Uh,
Didn't you have
I,
some favorites back when you were eating cooked food?
well, what didn't you have?
Some favorites in your cooked food
Yeah.
back when you were eating cooked food?
So,
And when you
so I
skip
want
those now, what happens?
Yeah, so I would love to share that. Actually, in the beginning, it was super duper difficult. I remember, I would go back, like chilling with friends, and they would have it, and then I would also have one meal and feel so heavy and guilty. It's like even though I'm eating the high healthiest food, even we can go through, these feelings that, oh, why did I do it? And then you like stay in that state of uneasiness. And so in the beginning, it was multiple times that I failed, and then I think those failures are one of the greatest teachers. So they are part of the process, and they are definitely the good inspiration to move on our path. And no one would ever be like, okay, today I am Superman, and the rest of their life they're Superman. You have to go through the process of learning of being a Superman. So.
So how
Uh,
long did this last for you?
I
Like, was it
I
weeks?
think at
Was it
least
months?
at
Was
least
it years?
no a year, at least a year. I think I kept making mistakes and all of that. And then even after 1 year of fruit diet, I decided for 1 month that I will taste foods, different foods, because I was like, I am not sure what I'm giving up. I have to, and this was because also I moved in with these people who were eating completely cooked food, and I was like, dude, I don't know that I was like, am I losing out all the
Yeah.
pleasures of life?
Fear of
That
missing
like
out,
mind
huh?
starts playing.
FOMO.
Huh?
Fear
Huh?
of missing out. FOMO.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I tasted it and I was like, oh no, this is something that I don't really want at all. So see, just allowing yourself, not giving yourself the tags, being like, I can explore. I'm not entitled to do something, I'm a vegan. Like, and then out of force, no, come from that inner space. Yeah, I choose to do it. Is something that really helped me. So yeah, and I easily tried everything, and that time my periods were heavy, they were painful, I didn't feel good, I was groggy, my results were worse. I was like, why do I want to do this to my life? And I was like, boom, on. I don't eat cooked food, but I would like once in a while, maybe like this much part of like something I tasted. So I don't want to say 100%, 99.9999999%. I might have tasted something here and there, or maybe made a mistake when someone offered me something. So, but I don't consume. I think it's been 2 years I have had any proper meal of cooked food, of warm food, and I really love it. I really love it. I think it's brought so much beauty in my life. Like it's completely worth it to do it. And now I don't see cooked food as food. It's very interesting.
Mm.
I just have stopped the association of that, and
When you see
it like it
friends eating, when you see your loved ones eating, what are the, like, do you get any thoughts, or what is
it's
your
almost like
relation?
a thing for me now.
Sorry?
It's like it's almost like there is something in front of me sitting there, which is not food, and my mind doesn't go there only. It's like people are eating pizza and all. For me, it's like okay, I'm eating my own smoothie. I eat when people are eating. I think that helps a lot.
Yeah.
So I will just
You
have
eat
my
your
own
fruits
like
when other people are eating, so at least you're sharing in the eating part.
Yeah.
It's just that
Yeah.
you put something different in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also like to keep it very, enjoyable and everything. Like, not, it's like people don't, I think people don't feel that, I am eating something different. I just have, like, it's very casual, yeah, I want my own, fruit bowl or something. And then I'm just part of the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So,
good not to make a big deal out of it, you know.
yeah.
If we make a big deal, then we feel it's a big deal as well. Whereas
Yeah.
actually, it's not really. In social situations, it's good to underplay it, you know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. How we feel is what we project completely. So definitely, it helps. I also keep it very casual. I don't judge people. I don't tell people anything. Even for being plant-based veganism, I'm like, this is not the conversation I want to have. If you want to have, if you want to ask, then I answer. Otherwise, no. Please enjoy whatever you're eating.
Yeah.
It's like I'm compassionate towards your choices. I respect them.
Mhm.
You're on your journey. I'm sure you're doing something else very incredible. So. Um, yeah, that kind of helps a lot.
Mm.
So, since you were also mentioning about not giving up, I think, what are your tips for people to not give up?
Just keep trying again and again and again.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
told if once it doesn't work, try again and again. Because I've applied that in my life. Um, because I know I'm not perfect. I have not, gotten to anything without failing. Even now, I'm not even perfect on the fruit diet. Of course, I'm not. I don't think anybody is perfect, and neither should we put this pressure on ourselves to be perfect. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's be authentic. Let's be truthful to ourselves.
Yeah.
And other
Exactly.
people. If we are not truthful to other people, then we are not truthful to ourselves either. So
Yeah.
I did fruit for 2 months, and I did it very, very rigorously. And I'm actually happy that I did it as well, because it gave me a sharp contrast to when I came off fruit. I could see how my body was feeling on fruit. For example, on the 11th day, my eyesight improved by half. The glasses that I had been wearing, the number went to half just within 11 days. I would have never experienced that had I not given myself a chance to go on this fruit diet. And it was fun and it was amazing. And I was traveling at that time. And when I came back home, I felt the old cravings. I felt the old conditioning. It was a bit colder. And, the kitchen had all the cooked food happening. And it stopped being fun. And that's why I stopped. I said, I'm going to take a bit of a break. So my break, I noticed, is still 90% fruit, actually 95% fruit, because there are days I go on fruit for 3, 4 days. And then on the fourth day, I might have a salad, or I might go out for a meal with a friend and have something cooked. And it gives me, as you say, an opportunity to observe what happens in the body when we do that. Because I know the feeling of fruit now, and I like the feeling of fruit. It's just that the mind is trying to catch up. And what I'm now trying to do is gently observe what's happening in the mind, what's happening in the body. And that for me is transition.
Yeah.
One day, the awareness of, just like for you, all this even cooked vegetables, because I don't really take grains much. Only if I go out somewhere and let's say I want to have a dosa or something, then okay. But I don't take grains on a regular basis. I've not been able to for many years, actually, because I find them too heavy. But I do get tempted to eat something healthy. It could be cooked vegetables or a soup or something like that. But then I observe in my body that it doesn't feel that great. My bowel movements are not as good. There is a certain discomfort in the stomach. Sometimes there's very subtle pain in the stomach. My energy is a bit low. I notice that the day I have, let's say, fruit for, like, I have my dinner around 4:35. So let's say I have my dinner around 4:30, and then I want to go for a quick walk around the block. I'm easily able to do that if I've eaten fruit. But I'm not able to do that if I've had even a little bit of cooked vegetables, because the whole energy kind of crashes. And there's a certain heaviness that comes into the body that's not there on fruit. So, all these subtle differences you can notice once you start making some changes and observing how the body feels. So, there are times that I'm, on fruit for the second day or third day, and we live on a split level apartment, and I'm literally going up the stairs, and it's really easy for me to go up the stairs. Like I'm flying up. And I tell myself, don't you like this? And a part of me says, yeah, I love this. And then the next time I have something cooked or something heavy, and I'm like, plodding up on the stairs, and I'm like, is this good, or is this worth it to eat that and then do this? And a part of me saying, no, no, it's not worth it at all. I'd rather fly up the stairs. So this is part of my own self training myself to do better. And I encourage each one of you, it's okay to fail. As Kartika said, failing is part of the process of learning. Remember when your child starts to write and they can't, hold the pencil even, and then they are writing A, and the A is going like all over the place, and it doesn't look anything like A. Do you tell your child, you're terrible, you can't do this? You don't. You encourage them, you hold their hand, you guide them, and it takes as long as it takes. And the same is true for you. Don't put the pressure on yourself that you must become a fruitarian or a raw foodist or a vegan, or even quit sugar or quit XYZ in the next 1 week, or in 2023, I will be reborn. Just doesn't work like that. Lived enough years on the planet like me, this just doesn't work. So it's okay, be patient, be kind, just like you would to your child. So this is your inner child, and the kindness and the patience and the self-acceptance is going to yield much, much deeper results in not just the area of food, in all other areas of life. And I know, Kartika, you love talking about this whole idea of observing, of accepting our body and loving our body exactly as it is. We have a whole session on that on the last session on 26 Jan. But maybe you can speak a little bit to it right now. What people can start doing today. Maybe some of you can take this on, because we are on for almost a month, for 4 weeks. So maybe you can take this on now and start practicing some of the things we are sharing, and come and check in with us every week. Tell us your progress, and maybe you'll shed the weight you've been wanting to, or adopt some healthy practices that you've been wanting to. So I encourage you to do that.
Yeah, yes, yes. So this 4 weeks can be your chance to take the challenge and start with, as Nandini suggested, start with like a fruit breakfast, or just like once a week a fruit, like, day, whatever you feel, and like start moving into that small, small step that we were talking about that would bring in health, and observe that feeling, how you feel that day. If you eat two fruit meals and then you eat like a heavy breakfast, how are you feeling the next day? And I want to really reiterate what Nandini said is, training yourself is like really freaking important. When you train yourself slowly, slowly, mentally, every day, observing, that is your power, because you are your power and you are your guide, and you have to be that leader for yourself, for your body, for your life. And how do you do it? This is just every day, just like listening to yourself and observing yourself and being more self-aware. And one thing, as she was talking about loving the body, I think everything comes from loving the self, not just the body, but the health, great experiences, career, everything comes from loving the self and the body. So when you look at yourself, usually, are you condemning your body? Are you like, oh my God, my tummy is not good, my flabs, I have so many flabs, I'm not attractive? And as we are consistently doing this for a really long time, what happens is that is what we create in our body. So I was so unhappy with my figure, even though everyone aspired to look like me. And then I just developed all these diseases and, like, pains and like problems on my skin, because I was not self-accepting of myself. So I think one of the most important part on this journey of health and like looking good, losing all of that weight, is really looking out for yourself. Like, do you really look out for yourself? Like, as Nandini said, she's observing every day. It's like we don't expect to jump and become like awesome. But what is awesome anyway? So it's like this, it's not like huge leaps that we have to take every day, small things of changing your self-image. And I think me and Nandini, we both tell everyone always is to make a vision board where you know how you want to look, you know, and like envision that, you know, how is it that your hair would be looking, how is that your skin would be looking. And honestly, I have transformed my body by just being in a state of self love and consistently self caring every day. And it reflects in your cells. Your cells feel that love, you know, and they respond to it. They like eventually you will build a relationship with all your organs and you'll be like, hey, stomach, are you okay? Like, am I giving you the good food? And the stomach will be like, you man, you're doing good for me. Because you have taken that steps and your cells, they listen, they you know respond to you, especially if you give all of that care, you know. So it's like you really start getting to know your body. I was completely disassociated with my body. I only had like no respect, no love for my body, even though it like breathes for me every day. And it has changed over the years, you know. So uh, and one of the most important aspect is self love. How is it that you can inculcate self love is pick up an amazing, this is like a really great thing, okay guys, this is the secret that will really transform your life. And I know Nandini knows it also, she's been using it as well, because yeah, I saw her post. So this is pick up a tape, okay, or audio or video from YouTube which is talking about like caring about your body, affirmations about your body, you know, something related to love about your body, about your ideal weight. And then put it in the night when you're about to sleep and put it in the morning when you wake up. And you will see magic happen. Right, Nandini?
Yeah, I think these we have to really be conscious of our self-talk, because when we
Yeah,
stand in front of the mirror, if subconsciously we are telling ourselves, I hate you, and look at that double chin, and look at those thighs, and this sagging
yeah,
cheeks and wrinkles, it's not very kind to yourself. You
yeah,
do that to your child, you wouldn't do that to your loved one, you wouldn't do it to a friend. So why do it to yourself?
yeah,
Be your own best,
exactly,
be your own lover, be your own child, be your own mother. Yeah. You're
exactly.
the one
Yeah,
you're waiting for.
exactly.
Nobody
This
else
is so
outside
important.
can, do this for us. So let's be kind to ourselves in our thoughts, in our words, in our actions. And when we do that, one of the things that was very remarkable for me, I remember I was just sitting in my bedroom at that time. This is so many years ago, and I just remembered it, that I was looking at my thighs, and I'd always hated my thighs because they were too big. And I was just like so fed up with this lose weight, gain weight, blah, blah, blah. And I was trying. And one day I just decided to say, you know what, they're fine. My thighs are fine. And I just sort of caressed them and massaged them and touched them. And I said, I love you. I don't care. I don't want you to be anything different. I just love you the way you are. And I think that was a very significant moment when things started to change inside my own mind, about not being self-critical, self-judgmental, and all that stuff. Because if we are self-critical, we are critical of others too. If we are self-judgmental, we are judgmental of others too. We can't be anything to others if we are not that to ourselves, and vice versa. So just coming at peace with your own body, however it is, even if it's 50 pounds overweight, it doesn't matter. Just coming to peace with it, loving it, accepting it, and yet wanting to improve, to lovingly self observe, to become aware, to want to eat healthy. That's all fine, but do it with acceptance, without judgment and criticism. So
Yeah,
that's really important as well.
yeah.
If anybody has any questions, you can put it in the question box.
We,
The
we have a lot of questions here.
we can start addressing those. But I wanted to ask you one question. What about exercise? What is the role of exercise in weight loss? What do you think?
Well, I think food is the key, but exercise is something that we must do just to keep ourselves healthy. But if we change the food, it's like with my clients, I don't tell them any exercise. I'm like, do your own, like, whatever you want to do. I want you to focus on only one thing right now, which is basically food. And then I give them like the mental things are going on at the back of the program. And food is what we focus on, and boom, like at least 5 to 6 kgs in 21 days also. And then we have had people who have lost like 10 kgs in 21 days. They were like hardcore. They wanted to go through in 30 days, people wanted to lose 10 kgs. So food, food, food. If you can lock in the food, rest is taken. And I also see just in my life, it's such a important part. If we lock in the food, wow, because we do it like uh, 3 4 times a day, and if we can transform this one habit, relationships, energy levels, career, mental clarity, everything is like revolving around it, and I had no idea. So it's like food is the key. Food is the key, I would say. Spirituality, everything transforms if we can slowly, 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 slowly just increase, change our food habits. And what would you say?
I would tend to agree with you. I mean, from a personal experience on myself, as well as countless clients that I have coached in the last decade or so that I've been doing this work, food is the key. You change the food and everything changes. It's like when you lighten the food, your body gets enough energy and you want to move.
Yeah.
You want to go up the stairs. You want to walk to the mall. You want to go for a walk. You want to dance. You want to move because it frees up the energy in the body. Otherwise, if you're eating heavy food and trying to run, I mean, that's the worst torture I used to put myself through. And I see people putting themselves through that, again and again and again. When you're lighter in the body, then the weight just shifts and you feel like moving yourself, it just arises within you. So for me also, food key, like I was telling you an example of just now when I'm flying upstairs versus
Yeah.
plodding upstairs on cooked food. So there's absolutely no question about it that forcing ourselves to exercise when it's not coming naturally or there's no energy in the body, that's being cruel to yourself. That's going against nature.
Yeah.
But
No, I
the
completely agree.
body
Actually,
gets
what?
work by eating lighter food. People don't realize, they think that food gives energy. Actually, cooked food and heavy food takes away energy because digestion is the one of the most energy intensive systems in the body. So fruit or raw food, raw salads, especially fruit, is almost pre-digested. When we give children the first thing to eat, we give them a mashed banana because it doesn't require any effort from the child to digest it. And even in our body, the fruit doesn't require any extra energy to digest. It comes with the enzymes that are required to digest it. And we know this because when we eat fruit, we are hungry in an hour or 2 hours or half an hour even. The lighter
Mm.
fruit, like if you've eaten watermelon, you can be hungry within half an hour. That's
Yeah.
because the food is easy to digest. So you take in the calories from fruit, you keep it really easy to digest, you free up the energy for the body to throw out the toxins, and along with the toxins, all the excess weight that the toxins are being held in. And you're not only healthier, you're lighter, and you have more energy to exercise.
Completely agree. So I just want to bring up my dad. He has sent a message on the chat. He's saying in Hindu scriptures it said, "Jaisa खाए अन्न वैसा रहे मन."
सही
I love
बात
you, Papa.
सही बात है,
So
जैसा अन्न वैसा मन. अगर
exactly
आपका
that.
अन्न आपका अन्न हैवी होगा, आपका अन्न तामसिक होगा, आपका अन्न फ्राइड होगा, किसी फैक्ट्री से आया हुआ है, तो आपका माइंड भी फैक्ट्री के माइंड की तरह काम करेगा. वो भी हैवी होगा, वो भी आलसी होगा, वो भी तामसिक होगा, उसकी वाइब्रेशन भी कम होगी. और आपका
Exactly.
फल, आपका अगर अन्न अन्न अगर आपका फल है, वो फल किसी पेड़ से आए जिसपे धूप आ रही है, जिसपे पानी आ रहा है बारिश का, जिसपे हवा चल रही है, जिसका जो आप सीधा ग्रहण कर रहे हैं, जो प्रकृति ने आपके लिए बनाया है, तो उसका वाइब्रेशन कैसा होगा, उसकी ऊर्जा कैसी होगी, आप खुद ही सोच लें.
बिल्कुल.
बिल्कुल सही,
बिल्कुल.
एक 100% सही बात है. जैसा अन्न वैसा मन. Let's The
It's like
question.
we, huh? Yes, we start the question. We are what we eat, is what I wanted to say. We are completely what we eat. So, thank you, Papa, for sharing, and let's get to the questions. So, let's start with the first question that we have, which is how to encourage children to quit cow milk and not taking now tea or milk. Okay. Would you like to answer this one, Nandini?
Yeah, you can substitute it. You can, for children, you can make coconut milk. Coconut milk is so delicious.
Yeah.
Just the brown coconut, scrape it and grind it with some water and then put it through a mesh cloth, and you have beautiful, lovely coconut milk. I think coconut costs some 40 rupees or 50 rupees. I don't know, depending on where you are. And you can make 2 liters out of one coconut. So that's half the price of
Yeah.
cow's milk.
Yeah, and then if you want, you can put some dates in it, to make it sweet. You can put some cacao, like raw cacao if you want,
Uh,
and just like make a really
you
nice
put
blend out of it.
cinnamon, lychee, whatever you feel like, if the kids need that extra flavoring. But by itself, coconut milk is one of the tastiest milks. You can also
Yeah.
make it out of cashews and almonds and so on. But I think coconut is the best. It's also
Yes.
easier to digest than nuts.
Yeah, yes, more natural. There's oat milk also, but I would also suggest coconut milk.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, go for soy milk, oat milk, almond milk. There are so many different, alternatives for the milk. So let's start. Let's ask, is
People will
Kavya is asking,
how to make cashew milk, how to make almond milk. So while you're looking at the next question, I'll just say soak overnight and blend. Cashews, you don't
yeah,
even soak overnight. You can just soak for 4 hours and blend. You don't even need to sieve it if you're putting it in something that, a little crunch would do or a little fiber would do. So don't go and buy those 600 rupees a liter kind of stuff. Just soak 10 almonds. It's enough for 1 glass of milk. If you want it thicker, then go for 20, But 10 is usually enough for 1 glass. But again, I really like coconut milk better than anything else. That's the
yeah,
best. Give them a substitute. And you see, coconut milk will not be as addictive as cow's milk. So over time, they can even break the habit of having milk. Because technically we don't need milk because we're all grown ups. We've weaned from our mothers. So we needed milk when we were little, when we didn't have our teeth and we couldn't eat our natural diet. So when we are born, we need mother's milk. But now that we are weaned, we don't need milk. It's just a matter of habit.
exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. No animal is having milk after they're,
We
an adult or something. Yeah, after like we need milk only when we are children. So this is a very human habit. So now we have a question from Kavya. Said, what are some of the ways of regulating the self when I see myself wanting or indulging in emotional eating? I think number one way that I recommend people is basically put a meditation tape in the morning, an awareness meditation tape, and that like stays in your head throughout the day. Also, I would say like have a like make your environment available of like other things that are healthy, like keep fruits everywhere. So when you're like feeling like emotional eating, you just like eat a lot of fruit and you will see after that like 5-10 minutes it goes away. You can observe your breath as well. These are the three things that, and I think sequential eating really helps. If you eat like a really heavy meal in the morning, then you crave the whole day. But if you're like eaten like well in the morning, you have met your carbohydrate needs, you have eaten enough sweet fruits, then like automatically the cravings are less. But if there is a day when I ate like a very like some cashews or something in the morning, then the whole day I'm craving for like something like that. So these are the few tips on my mind, but like I would love to hear you also, Nandini.
So I would say address your emotions. I would say address the reason, like why is this happening? Is it happening again and again, or is just a one off because, your car got hit or something like that? But even if that
Yeah.
happened, how do you normally respond? Is it that you're angry? Is it that you're worried about, how your partner might respond? What is it exactly that is the source of this emotional upset? If you can examine that, so then you can go a lot deeper and understand how you can address that emotion at the source, at the core, so that you don't
Wow.
have to fall into eating, some junk for comfort. So address
Yeah.
the emotion and learn some ways of handling emotions and handling stressful situations in a better way. Can you call a friend? Can you go for
Go
a
for a
run?
walk.
Can you clean out
Yeah.
your closets? Can you speak to your mother? I don't know. There can be a myriad ways to address that emotional disturbance, or a meditation or your therapist. I don't know, whatever it might be, but address the emotions, because if those go unaddressed, then they can cause more problems, much worse than some just bad eating. But of course, bad eating also over time, if it accumulates and if that's the only way you handle stress, then that can lead to health issues. So always go deep into why something is happening that you don't want to happen. Go to its cause and try to address it at that level. That's usually good. The temporary fixes also work meantime, but eventually, when you have the time and space, go deeper.
That's a very beautiful one. I love it. I really love and appreciate it to bring it forward. Nandini, I think it's really, really important. I think the core of everything is basically that alignment that you're talking about and learning how to live life better. And food is just a tool in the process, that makes us feel good. That is like a symptom. So really like going to the depths of what is going on and resolving those things is anyway the path. And why is why also we are eating good food. So amazing. Thank you so much, Nandini, for bringing that point forward. Aanchal Vaswani is asking, isn't eating the fruit better than juicing it? Yes, it is, but because we live in such a polluted environment, sometimes we need, alternative ways of dealing with the toxins and the waste, and that's why we come with juices where they can flush out the toxins really, easily. It's, for example, we have Ayurveda, we have so many different modalities that are, because we humans are living in a balanced way, we need different ways sometimes to help with the situation. For example, people would do enemas when they're like, juicing. So it's just a step that we can take to, bring the healing forward. And also it's safe to juice, uh, you know. So yeah, but eating fruit is definitely better. But sometimes just like, you don't want to digest the food because you want to have more energy because probably you have eaten too much unbalanced food the last day. So you have juices. And I start my day with juices mostly. And I always use them when I feel like I need to hydrate, have more energy, anything, I go for juices. So, yeah, that is my answer. Nandini, I would like to know your answer as well.
With the juice or a coconut water. I also like juices, but I don't do a lot of juicing. I have done one 21-day juice feast, but it was not my best experience. So I think in certain situations it can be called for sure, especially when people have very bad digestive issues. However, in most cases, if you don't like juices or find them a bother, it's better to eat the whole fruit anyway. I also like to have more hydration in the morning. So like these days, I'm having a quinoa juice or an orange juice or a grapefruit juice, and we have that cold press type situation. So there's usually a bit of fiber in it as well. And I also like having some hydration in the morning, because all night you're sleeping, you're not hydrating. So first thing in the morning, I want to have some liquids. And that works for me. And it's just like a 300 ml glass. And then after that, I'm on to, and sometimes I can have 500 also, but usually it's 300. And after that, I'm on to juicy fruits.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
other
Juice.
nine or two, so we've exceeded our 1 hour. So, but let's
Yeah.
answer the questions that are there.
Yes. Karuna is asking, what about intermittent fasting and one meal a day? I think, of course, you can do it, but it's like if you are eating, intermittent fasting is always awesome. It's like something that I do every day. and it makes me feel very, very good because fasting is one of the fastest way to heal, and we're just getting out of the way of the body's healing process. So everyday fasting is awesome. One meal a day, I think I haven't reached there yet. There will be a day probably that I could do it on a fruit diet. There's someone called Eli Martyr who's doing it. He's a fruitarian. He's a stuntman. He's big and his body is so efficient that just one meal of fruits is enough for him to for all the activities. But I think most of us are not there yet. So I think if people are just transitioning into like healthier diets and they don't have much experience, they must allow themselves to eat because otherwise it can get too tough.
I
So
just
yeah, go ahead, Nandini.
eating fruit, then you don't restrict yourself. Don't do intermittent fasting, it's especially in the beginning, because you need to be able to eat enough. Your body needs energy, and your body is not used to eating a lot of high volume, high hydration food. So you will not be able to eat 8 bananas at a time like we do, or 5 mangoes at a time like we do, or 10 oranges. So you may make the mistake of eating too little, and then you will lose weight, and you will feel tired and low energy, and then you will say, oh, this fruitarian thing doesn't work for me. This is something that I have found a lot of people making the mistake. They eat fruit like they used to eat fruit when they were still eating cooked food. The fruit diet doesn't work like that. You need to get your 2500, 3000, whatever calories that you need in a day from fruit. So I would suggest, if you're making a switch to a fruitarian diet, then eat fruit whenever you are hungry. Don't restrict yourself. If you're not hungry, don't eat. But if you're hungry at like 9 o'clock, then eat something. Eat fruit so that you can sustain and your body has the energy for detoxing. After some time, it will settle down. Like now, since I've been doing all fruit 2 months and high fruit, I was high fruit even before that, but even higher fruit now, I don't feel hungry. I'm like I usually eat my dinner around 5:30, 5:30. And I've noticed that in the last few weeks, I have not needed to eat after 5:30 because I feel totally satisfied with fruit. So it will happen, but trust your body. If your body is giving you a signal of hunger, then give it food, especially if you're on fruit, because if you can eat fruit and you're hungry, and the idea of eating fruit is a palatable one, then you're really hungry. If you're feeling hungry but you don't want to eat fruit, you want to eat something else, something particular, you're not really hungry.
Oh.
You're on a fruit diet or which way, but if you are making a move towards eating lighter, more raw food, fruit, salads, whatever, then don't restrict yourself.
So, okay, I have a question for you on this one. So you said if you're feeling hungry and you're not eating like you're not feeling like eating fruit, that means you're not really hungry. Would you include like the bland fruits like tomatoes and cucumber, all of these as well, or only the sweet fruits?
I mean, I'm sitting here and I don't feel like eating any of the fruits that are there.
Okay, okay,
But I want
cool.
that
Okay,
cake or cookie or, chips. That's
yeah,
not hunger.
okay,
So yeah, I would
yeah,
include cucumber and tomatoes as fruits, non-sweet fruits.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay, perfect. I got it. Hey, Geeta, good to have you here. So the next question is, in winters, fruits feel cold. I crave for hot. Is body telling this or it's a habit? I would say I've lived in the mountains and I have craved for hot food. I think I could do so good on not eating the hot food, even though I was like in a winter climate. So, and I know a lot of people who are living in Canada in cold places in snow and doing a fruitarian high fruit diet. So it's possible. It's the best for you always. Karan, I love you. Yes.
So right
Uh,
now, winter in Delhi, and tonight is supposed to be 4 Celsius. And I had mangosteens for dinner. And not mangosteens, sorry, persimmons, which is my favorite. But the thing is, I just take the chill out of the fruit a little bit by either putting it on my heater So it just, because even the outside food is like fridge, so you will see in my post on Insta that I had some grapes and I put them on a bowl on my heater just to bring them to my body temperature. And then it didn't feel so bad. I didn't get the chills after eating it. I didn't feel so bad. And even in my banana smoothie, because everything is so cold, I just put some warm water. So again, it's at like my body temp. I don't want to say room temperature because the room temperature is so cold in India because we don't have central heating, but my body temperature. And then it's totally fine. I don't feel the need to eat anything hot or whatever, generally speaking. So it's quite surprising for me because I had allowed
Yeah.
myself to have soups or stir fries if I wanted this winter, but I haven't wanted them. I must have had once
Yeah.
I had soup, and I really don't want it. I don't have to put something hot in my mouth in order to feel warm. As long as I'm
Yeah.
not chilled fruit from the fridge or at ambient temperature, and I'm just warming it slightly to come to my body temperature or just lose the chill basically, then I don't feel it. I mean, I can wear a jacket to stay warm or switch on the heater to stay warm, uh, or wear a hat or something. I don't doing it
Yeah.
for me to have hot food. Like, I'm not even feeling the need for it, which is surprising because in the past I have cups of herbal tea just to stay warm. I'm not feeling the need to do that anymore. I just have warm water, like lukewarm water. So
Yeah.
avoid having cold or chilled, and just bring it to your body temperature if you're in a ambient cold climate, and I think you will notice that it's fine, especially if you've been on fruit for some time or raw food for some time. If you're on cooked food, then you're going to continue craving cooked food and hot food because that's the conditioning. So maybe during summer, take the time to break this conditioning, and you'll find that the following winter, if you've been on, let's say, 80% fruit or something during summer, then the following winter you will not crave so much hot food.
Yeah. And some people also use Vitamix. If you
Yeah.
blend in Vitamix, it becomes a little bit warm also. So that is something that people can do also. But yeah, great advice, Nandini. Very practical. I love it. There is someone who has asked a question, is having Himalayan salt okay? No matter what salt you're having, you are toxifying your body. So that is the truth. And pink salt, green salt, red salt, whatever you're having, salt is salt. It's just the media, basically bluffing you that this salt is better, that salt is better. All salts are bad for us, especially in the humongous amount that we are having it. So once in a while, like animals go and lick something, but that's like in months they go and lick, and when they lick, how much do they get? Is the good question to ask. The salt is a pure toxin. We are not meant to have it, but that doesn't mean that you suddenly stop having salt. Just slowly reduce it. For at least for people who are, in the conversation here, it's like it's always, as we said, it's better to transition into things and not cut them out suddenly. What would you
Yeah,
say?
to a fruit only breakfast, as we are suggesting, eating fruit all morning as many times as you want, then you've taken out salt from one meal altogether. And then you can slowly work on reducing the amount of salt and having some salads without salt, just with the lime juice or something like that, and see how that feels. And slowly weaning yourself off salt. And I agree that we don't need any salt at all.
Yeah.
I, in fact, went completely salt free when I did the fruit diet. Since then, I've been salt free. And my sodium actually went up by 4 points after not
Wow.
consuming a drop of salt for 2 months. I did my blood test again, and my sodium was slightly borderline, but I was eating salt. And after I quit salt and went on just fruit, my sodium became normal. Can you beat that? And I'm not the only one this has happened to. This has happened to many people. Of course, each person is different. So I suggest that before you embark on any changes, you can do these tests for yourself, and your body will tell you what is right for you. So you can
Yeah.
try it out. But my sodium went up.
Yeah.
I
Salt is
didn't
very addictive.
that my sodium went up.
Come again?
That's I didn't even have any greens in that 2 month period.
Yeah.
Now I'm having greens, but at that time I didn't, and my sodium went to normal. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
surprisingly.
Yes. I'm
Mm.
completely with you. That the salt is a toxin, and we don't need it. If we can get all the nutrition that we need from the fruits and vegetables, and only fruits as well. And I'm sure you guys are, like everyone is, even including me, is eating something a little bit extra than fruits. So you're in a good space than eating salt if you are cutting it out.
Yeah,
Okay, so the next question is.
salt is a toxin, not our food. Is just it's a rock. You know, it's not a living organism. We require organic, meaning living food. So it's when the plants take up the minerals that it becomes bioavailable for our bodies. In rock form, the minerals are not bioavailable for us.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it's not
So,
good for children also. Somebody said for children, no. As long as the children are human, it's not good. And actually, no animal eats salt in their mixes salt in their food before eating it. So nobody needs to eat salt. It was
yes,
discovered because it was a preservative, and that's how it came into use in humans because it's very addictive. So now, if you think about eating cooked food without salt, it's not a very palatable thought.
we
And
are
actually,
addicted.
and we are fooling our senses and eating things that are not designed to be our food by mixing salt, spices, cooking, blah blah blah, because none of us could eat. If you just think about all the cooked food we are eating, 99% of that we cannot eat in its original unmodified, unspiced, unsalted, uncooked form. So any
Yeah.
other?
Yeah, last question that we have again from Seema is how to start fruit journey. Now I'm a vegetarian. Can we mix 2 to 3 fruits in our meal? So usually mono fruit meals are good, but if you're starting out, please mix and match. Enjoy the food. And how to start, as Nandini said before, also best way to start is transition. Slowly step into it. Start eating like 1 2 meals of only fruits, and then go for days when you only have fruit, and slowly transition towards it. A lot of people would do it jump, like they would just jump also, but this is not the strategy that I recommend to people. And uh, this is how you, yeah, start on a fruitarian journey, which is start eating a fruit breakfast. Okay.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, let's call it a day now. It's 9:15. I
Yeah.
need to go. But people can find out about all the support that I'm offering by going to the link in bio. It opens up a Linktree microsite, and there are a few things listed there, including 2 cookbooks I've written, which are actually have some salads and raw food, but they have cooked food as well. So for those of you who want to lighten up the cooked food you're having, let's say you start with and you want to lighten up your lunch and dinner, then there are these 2 books that I have written, which have a lot of recipes, and they are whole food, plant based. So they have no oil, no gluten, no dairy, no sugar whatsoever. And they're both available on Amazon. You can review them over there and have a look at them. And in addition to that, there are a few other things I offer. I offer a coaching program. I've written a book which you can download for free. It's on weight loss, 5 detox secrets for weight loss. And that gives you a little bit more about my journey and the 5 main things that help me. So those are some of the things available as resources to you if you want to continue on this path. And Kartika, would you like to share?
Yeah, guys, first of all, Nandini is really awesome. So if you really need help with weight loss, I would say she's quite a good person to go to. And for me, if you want to also, get on a journey of weight loss detox, I also offer the same. And my website is called www.expandlove.online/full power, where you can go watch a webinar wherein I share all my secrets. And if you want to work with me, we can have a one-to-one call. One-to-one coaching is what I provide for people. And yeah, if you want to be part of a WhatsApp group also, that in which we talk about weight loss, about healthy lifestyle, about mental reprogramming, you're welcome to drop in a message, and I will make you a part of it. And yeah, thank you so much, Nandini, for
Thank you.
giving your time and
And next
energy.
we'll be here again at 8 p.m. and we are talking about meeting your nutrition needs. So we'll be answering all your questions about calcium, protein, carbohydrates. Are they bad? Are they good? How much fat do we need? What about vitamins, minerals, all of that. So bring all your questions, write them down during the week. And I hope that some of you decide to go on fruit and observe your body. And remember the CAN, which is consistency, awareness, and never give up. And thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you, Kartika. I guess the recording will be available on your Instagram, on your IG live. So somebody was asking, will the recording be available? So whenever it's ready, you can just let me know, and I'll post it, repost it on my page as well, and my YouTube.
Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Lots of love from where I am. Thank you, Nandini. Lots of love for you as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye,
Good night.
guys. Thank you.
Somewhere here around India, then good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.